Hey, did you know that being a Leo isn't just a zodiac label? It's like carrying the sun itself in your chest, a blazing force that can light up the world or burn you if you're not careful. That raw, untamed energy is both a gift and a gauntlet. And today, I'm diving deep into why being a Leo is a cosmic blessing, a fiery ride through life that's equal parts power and passion. Stick with me, because we're about to unpack the heart of this lion sign in ways that'll make you feel every roar. So, let's get straight to the punch. Have you ever noticed how Leos seem to walk into a room and instantly own it, like they've got an invisible crown? It's not just charisma. It's a deep, primal fire that fuels their every move. But what keeps that flame burning, even when life throws storms their way? Let's peel back the layers of this sun-ruled sign and explore how their unyielding spirit turns setbacks into comebacks. Picture a Leo friend of mine, someone who faced a brutal breakup last year. Most would have crumbled, but not her. She channeled that heartbreak into launching a small art gig, turning pain into vibrant canvases that now sell out at local markets. That's the Leo way. They don't just survive, they transform. It's rooted in their elemental nature, fire that doesn't flicker out, but flares hotter under pressure. Their enthusiasm isn't a fleeting spark. It's a wildfire, spreading to everyone around them. I've seen it happen at gatherings, where a Leo's laugh alone can shift the mood, making even the shyest wallflower join the dance floor. And ambition? Oh, it's not just a word for them. It's a mission. They set sky-high goals, whether it's climbing the career ladder or perfecting a passion project. And they grind until they get there, dragging others along with their sheer belief. Bravery, though, is their secret weapon. While others hesitate, Leos charge headfirst into challenges, trusting their gut over fear. I recall a moment at a community event where a Leo acquaintance stood up to a heated debate about local funding cuts. Voice steady as steel, rallying support with pure courage. That's not just bravery, it's leadership that inspires. But here's the flip side. Their intensity can intimidate, sometimes mistaken for arrogance. Yet, isn't it better to live full throttle than half-hearted? That fire pushes them to achieve what others only dream of, from starting bold ventures to mending broken bonds with relentless hope. And when they refuse defeat, especially in love, it's not stubbornness, it's loyalty, a fierce commitment to fight for what matters. I've watched a Leo cousin pour everything into salvaging a rocky relationship, not because they couldn't walk away, but because their heart wouldn't let them, until every stone was turned. That depth, that drive, it's what makes their presence unforgettable, a force that reshapes lives. So, when you see a Leo pushing hard, remember, it's not just for them. It's to show you that impossible is just a word. Now let's lay it all out. Leos are born under the sun's fierce gaze, and that's no metaphor. It's the root of their cosmic DNA. This isn't just about horoscope fluff. It's about understanding why they operate on a wavelength most can't match. As a fire sign, their energy mirrors the element itself, uncontainable, transformative, always seeking more fuel. Think of fire in nature. It warms, it destroys, it renews. That's a Leo's spirit in a nutshell. They're driven by a need to stand out, not for vanity, but because their soul craves impact. Their confidence isn't a mask, it's bedrock. I've sat with countless folks over star charts, and Leos consistently show this trait. Whether it's a young woman owning her quirks in a judgmental crowd, or a seasoned professional pitching wild ideas with unshakable belief, they don't bend to doubt. Studies on personality traits even back this up. Research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology suggests that traits like assertiveness and self-assurance, core to Leos, correlate with higher success in leadership roles, with stats showing such individuals are 30% more likely to inspire team performance. That's no accident. It's the sun's imprint. But let's ground this in real life. I remember a Leo client who walked into my reading space years back, shoulders squared, despite a recent job loss. Most would have been defeated, but she was mapping out a freelance hustle, eyes blazing with plans. We talked through her chart, and that solar energy was clear. She wasn't just rebounding, she was rewriting her story. Within months, she'd built a client base from scratch, all because she refused to see failure as final. Then there's their emotional strength, often overlooked behind the bold exterior. Heartbreak doesn't break them, it fuels them. Another memory hits hard. A Leo friend who lost a long-term partner to distance. She cried, sure, but within weeks, she was hosting art therapy meetups to heal, turning personal pain into communal strength. That's resilience, not denial. And authenticity? Leos don't fake it. They're raw, real, sometimes brutally honest, but that's why you trust them. I've seen this at family dinners, where a Leo relative cuts through small talk with piercing truths, making everyone drop pretenses and connect deeper. Their self-control, too, is a hidden gem, knowing when to speak or stay silent, especially in conflict, sets them apart. I recall a tense work dispute where a Leo colleague held back fiery words, waiting for the right moment to propose a solution that everyone rallied behind. That poise wins respect. And don't get me started on their protective streak. Mess with their loved ones, and you've got a lion on your hands. I've witnessed a Leo stand up for a bullied friend at a bar, not with fists, but with a glare and words so sharp, the instigator backed off. That loyalty, paired with a knack for meaningful conversations over petty fights, builds bonds that last. I've spent evenings with Leos who'd rather debate life's big questions than waste breath on drama, leaving everyone around them richer for it. Their competitive edge, though, isn't about crushing others. It's self-betterment. Think of a Leo I know who trained for a marathon. Not to win, but to beat their own limits, logging 50 miles a week just to prove they could. That's the drive for excellence, pushing them to heights others shy from. But it's not all smooth. High standards mean they expect the same from others, which can strain ties. Yet, isn't that push what elevates everyone? Their persistence, too, ensures they don't quit. Whether chasing a dream or mending a rift, they're in it until the end. I've seen this in a Leo artist who spent years perfecting a craft, ignoring naysayers until galleries couldn't ignore them anymore. That's not just talent, it's grit. So, when you think Leo, think fire, wild, warm, and world-changing. But wait, here's a curveball. Did you ever consider that the same fire that makes Leos shine can also cast deep shadows? Let's dig into something raw. Their emotional depths aren't always golden. When hurt or betrayed, they can sink into a twilight zone of resentment, a dark space that's hard to pull them from. It's not weakness. It's the flip side of caring too much. I've seen this firsthand with a Leo close to me, who, after a friend's betrayal, retreated into silence for weeks, wrestling with bitterness. That pride, so central to who they are, becomes a double-edged sword. When wounded, their reaction can be fierce, almost aggressive, as a shield for their dignity. I remember a heated moment at a social event where Leo's ego took a hit from a careless jab. Their response wasn't just sharp. It was a roar, a defense of self-worth that stunned the room. Yet, isn't that intensity what makes them stand tall when others crumble? Even their tendency to exaggerate, born from passion, can paint life in dramatic hues, sometimes overblown, but always vivid. I've laughed over coffee with a Leo who turned a minor mishap, like spilling latte, into a saga of near disaster, complete with theatrical flair. It's not deceit, it's storytelling that keeps you hooked. And here's the kicker. That same pride drives them to inspire, not just react. Their need for attention, often misread as vanity, is really a call to lead. Think of every Leo who's stepped into the spotlight to motivate, whether in a boardroom or a backyard barbecue. I've watched one rally a group of disheartened volunteers with a speech so electric, they forgot their exhaustion. So while their shadows are real, they're also proof of a heart that feels everything. A blessing in disguise that adds depth to their dazzle. It's a reminder that even the sun has eclipses, but it always returns brighter. Now, let's hit the heart of it. The ultimate Leo power isn't just their roar. It's the soul behind it, a blend of emotional strength, raw authenticity, and a love for life that's downright contagious. Let's break this down with a story that still gives me chills. There was this Leo in my circle, someone who'd been through the ringer, lost a job, a relationship, and nearly their confidence in one brutal year. Most would have stayed down, but not them. They picked up every shattered piece, started journaling their pain, and turned those raw words into a blog that now helps thousands heal. That's emotional resilience at its peak, using hurt as fuel, not a cage. It's not that they don't feel the sting, it's that they refuse to let it define them. Research even nods to this. Studies from the American Psychological Association show that individuals with high emotional intelligence, a trait Leos often embody, recover from adversity 25% faster than average, often emerging with stronger self-awareness. That's no small feat. It's a superpower. And authenticity? It's their North Star. Leos don't play pretend. They lay it bare, flaws and all, which is why you feel safe with them. I've sat through late-night talks where a Leo's honesty about their struggles, be it self-doubt or past mistakes, cracked open a space for everyone to be real. That trust builds bonds deeper than surface chatter. Their self-mastery, too, is a quiet strength, knowing when to bite their tongue or unleash their truth. I've seen this in action during a family feud where a Leo held back a storm of frustration, waiting until tempers cooled to mediate with words that hit like balm, not blades. That's respect, earned, not demanded. And when it comes to love, they're all in. Passionate, thoughtful, craving mutual sincerity. Picture a Leo planning a date, not with fancy reservations, but a picnic under the stars. Every detail screaming care, from the playlist to the handwritten note tucked in the basket. I've witnessed such gestures turn skeptics into believers in old-school romance. Their kisses, even, mirror their soul, fiery when connected, distant when wronged, a barometer of their heart's truth. I've heard tales of a Leo whose affection shifted cold after a betrayal, not out of spite, but integrity, refusing to fake what wasn't felt. That's not drama, it's honesty. And their zest for life, it's electric. They hate monotony, always chasing the new, be it a spontaneous trip or a quirky hobby. I recall a Leo dragging a group to a midnight dance class. No pret, just pure joy in the unknown, leaving us all buzzing for days. Even in intimacy, they experiment, keeping sparks alive with curiosity. A whispered story from a friend about a Leo partner turning a quiet night into an adventure with playful dares still makes me grin. Nothing stale there. And as friends, they're your rock, exuding confidence that lifts you up. I've leaned on a Leo during my own dark spell. Their belief in me so fierce, I started believing too. That's their gift, making you see your own light. Sure, their high standards can push buttons, expecting excellence from all. But isn't that what drags us out of mediocrity? I've seen a Leo coach a struggling team, not with harshness, but relentless faith, until they outperformed everyone's bets. And when pride's at stake, they fight, not for ego, but dignity. A memory sticks of a Leo refusing to back down from unfair criticism at work, not with anger, but a poised rebuttal that shifted opinions. That's strength, not arrogance. So at their core, Leos are a paradox, fierce yet tender, bold yet deep, a sun that warms and challenges. Their magic isn't just in leading, it's in living so fully, they pull you into the flame too. All right, let's lighten the load for a sec and lean into something that always cracks me up about Leos. Their knack for turning the mundane into a full-blown blockbuster. You know what I mean if you've ever hung with one. It's like they've got a built-in drama filter. And honestly, it's a riot. I've got this vivid memory of a Leo buddy who turned a simple grocery run into an epic quest. We're talking a spilled milk carton in aisle 5, and suddenly they're narrating it like we're in a disaster flick. Voice low and intense. "We've got a code white, people. Containment breach." While mopping it up with a grin, shoppers around us couldn't help but laugh, and what should have been a 2-second oops became the highlight of my week. That's their charm. They paint life in technicolor, even when it's just spilled dairy. And it's not just for show. It's how they feel everything so big. Every hiccup's a plot twist. I've spent afternoons with this same Leo, where a rained-out picnic wasn't a bust, but a heroic stand against the elements. complete with us huddled under a tarp, belting out key songs like we're at a concert. It's infectious. You can't stay glum around that energy. And don't even get me started on their storytelling at parties. Last month, I watched them recount a flat tire as if it were a spy mission. Hands waving, voice dipping for suspense. And there I was, roadside. No backup, just me and a rusty jack. The room was in stitches, hanging on every word. It's not exaggeration for attention. It's their way of making life pop, of squeezing joy from the smallest cracks. I've learned from them to see the absurd in the everyday. Like when a delayed bus became our stranded survivor's tale, laughing over imagined rescue scenarios while we waited. And beneath the humor, there's heart. That same Leo, after all the theatrics, quietly paid for a stranger's groceries that day in aisle 5. No fanfare, just a nod. It's like their drama's a spotlight, but their kindness sneaks in the shadows. So yeah, Leos can overdo it. But isn't that better than a life in grayscale? I remind you to laugh, to feel, to turn spills into stories. And if you've ever been pulled into one of their grand narratives, you know it's not just fun, it's a little life lesson in rolling with the punches, wrapped in a chuckle. So here's the bottom line. Being a Leo is like holding a piece of the sun. It's a cosmic blessing that burns bright with ambition, emotional depth, raw authenticity, and a zest for life that's unmatched. They're the lions who lead with heart, who fall hard but rise harder, who turn every moment into something worth feeling. Their fire isn't just for show. It's a force that shapes worlds. Theirs and yours. Embrace that inner Leo, whether it's in your chart or just a spark you borrow, and let it push you to live bolder, love deeper, and laugh louder. If you vibed with this dive into the Leo soul, hit that like, subscribe, and tap the bell. Your support keeps these cosmic chats roaring. And hey, I've gotta ask, what's the most epic Leo moment you've witnessed or lived? Drop it in the comments. I'm all ears for your wild tales.